Hello, thank you all for coming today for my proposal to help Hopeful build stronger PLCs through teacher leadership. As you all know, I'm Alana Shupe. Let's first look at what our current reality is based on the All Things PLC Learning by Doing continuums written by the Dufours. In communicating effectively, we would fall strongly in developing, since we do have structures and processes that align with our purpose and our priorities. And the staff is seeing the benefits of this by gains we've made on our milestones. In laying the foundation, we also fall into developing. We have created and endorsed a description of the school that we want, and we have collective commitments that the staff knows and actively embraces. For using school improvement goals to drive team goals, we fall more on implementation plus. In the developing category, we do have PLCs with annual SMART goals, and there are processes to monitor this progress. However, what keeps us in implementation is that many of our educators, our staff, still struggle to articulate achievable and meaningful goals based on our data. And speaking of data, turning data into information, we would fall into developing. We have specific processes to bring teachers together to analyze results from our common assessments, and our teams do use these results to identify areas of concern. So let's celebrate our strengths. We have strong collaborative cultures within most PLCs. We have strong instructional coaches that meet with our PLCs weekly. We have common assessments. Our teachers are having regular data discussions, and we have collective commitments. So for our areas of growth, we could really improve on the teacher ownership of our data conversations, of driving the work of the PLCs. We could improve our teachers' ability to create and utilize their own SMART goals. We need to improve on our daily connection to the mission. While we have a mission, it's not part of our daily vocabulary. And also, a regular recognition system is an area of growth. So why focus on these priorities? We do have SMART goals. However, these SMART goals are written by our coach. So it ends up being where our teachers are told what to do, and they have not been fully trained and feel full ownership of the work itself. We do have a mission, but that mission is not routinely articulated and used by the staff. We have different ways where we try to celebrate our success, but teachers tend to feel that that is done inconsistently, and there seems to be a lack of follow through on these celebrations. And while we do use our data, it is improving, but we can go deeper and we can be better for our staff at large. So here's the professional learning plan I'm proposing that we work on this year. In pre-planning, we would really want to revisit our mission, our vision, and our collective commitments to remind teachers why we are here and why we are doing this work. August PLC meetings would really be focusing on PLCs writing their own SMART goals. They would want to write a minimum of one per quarter. In this, the real focus would be that they get good, valuable SMART goals that they themselves have created. The coach can give them feedback, but the coach would not be creating them. Our September PD day would go deep into looking at evidence, the evidence of the Learning Forward standard, teachers analyzing their common assessment results using a structured protocol so that PLCs can grow their ability to use evidence to guide their instruction. October PLC meetings would be focusing on implementation and professional expertise. Teacher teams would design intervention and enrichment based on these assessment results, the kids who need some extra help and the kids that are ready to go a little deeper. This would give increased use of timely student interventions. I set this to start up after October. If we could start it sooner, great. But within our grade level meetings, PLCs are given a time to share and celebrate successes that they have found using their data, things that have worked, gains they have made, So weekly, they would have an opportunity to share with the grade level what has gone well, what have we noticed, and the school would make this a true recognition of each other's progress, and we would celebrate each other. As we start second semester, that first PD day back from the break, we're going back to the evidence standard, and we are looking at how we did on our SMART goals for first semester and using that to inform and guide revisions to our our action plans for upcoming SMART goals. In our February PD day would be looking at student work. So we would have cross-content collaboration and follow a protocol to look at student work samples. And this way, teachers can deepen their understanding of proficiency and instructional practices and maybe beg, steal, and borrow some of those strategies used by other content areas. Within the PLC meetings themselves in March, we would focus on teacher-led classroom observations and focusing on one agreed upon instructional practice. This way we can increase collaboration and shared responsibilities. Our April PLC meetings are focusing on building that culture of collaborative inquiry and sharing best practices. PLC teams share successful interventions and instructional innovations that they have made and giving a greater sense of teacher leadership. The May PLC meetings, we're really looking back on how the year has went. Teams can evaluate their PLC continuum progress and identify next year's priorities, next year's needs, and also resources that are necessary to gain further progress for the following year. So following this professional learning plan, by the end of the school year, May 2027, we would have teacher-created SMART goals in every PLC. PLC members would feel ownership of the improvements that have been made. They would have more effective use of student data, more proficient in how to read and use data in the classroom. Teachers would have increased collaboration. There would have been weekly, if not monthly, celebration of team successes and a real way to celebrate each other. And this would move us from developing to sustaining on multiple learning by doing continuums. Thank you so much for coming and listening to me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful school year.